Howdy everyone, this is LockNutz, and you're watching a map tour of Medvedin on FS22. Hopefully you'll stick around to see what happens. Howdy, 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 how are you guys doing today? Oh my goodness, I tell you what, today we get to do a map tour of Medvedin by Metis MGS. This little bad mamma jamma is 112.3 megabytes to download and is very, very cross-platform friendly. Now to get some of this stuff out of the way here, guys, I have started this off on new farmer mode. That way you guys know what you'll be getting into if you do start off on new farmer mode. Let's cover a couple little things really quick here. This map does contain 2 empty areas for building construction. It has 42 fields, including 8 meadows, 10 sell points, 11 production buildings, a sawmill, 3 forests, land that is pre-purchased when you are here in new farmer mode, 1 village, and in new player mode, like I said, you do get this pre-built farm here with machinery. Now, this is the only mode where you get this. Nothing else. No other modes you start off with. Do you get any of this stuff on here? It's absolutely barren. There is one thing that you do start off with, and I'm not entirely sure why. It's this tedder. No matter what mode you start off in, you start off with this tedder right here. So you got that going for you. Oh man, but since we're talking about that, let's go ahead and take a look and see what items you'd start off with in new farmer mode. All right, starting off in new farmer mode, you start off with 2 medium tractors, 1 Fendt, 1 John Deere. That's a nice 1-2 punch. You do start off with a New Holland harvester, not too shabby, a New Holland grain header, and you do start off with 1 header trailer. So that's a nice 1-2-3 combo you got going on there. You do not start off with a vehicle. I bought this to help us aid in wandering around the map and taking a peek at it. Trailers, you do start off with 1 Rudolph trailer. Plows, 1 Converland plow. Cultivators, a Lemkin cultivator. Seeders, a nice Pottinger seeder. That's pretty slick. 1 Hardy sprayer, a fertilizer sprayer, and a lime/fertilizer spreader. So that's pretty darn cool. Weeders, you start off with the Einbach. Mowers, you start off with a pair of Kuhn mowers. Tedders, this is, like I said, this is the tedder that you start off with no matter what. Kuhn tedder. Windrower, you start off with a Schmazzy windrower. A Strutman forage wagon, the header trailer, and then a couple of weights. So all in all, guys, it's not too shabby. You do start off with some pretty good stuff in here. Let's take a second and see what you'd start off with on the map in new farmer mode. And here is the map. Now, as you can see here, you do have a bunch of nice sized fields here, a bunch of regular shaped fields and irregular shaped fields. A nice mix of everything as you go ahead and take a look at this. Now, one thing to keep in mind here, the map maker actually does say that this map is based off of their imagination. So there really is no place this is. But as we go ahead and take a look on our drive around the map, you will be able to see some similarities of areas that may pop up into your head. Now, taking a look at this over here, we do have a nice little cluster of some production facilities right over here, and we do have a handful of them scattered throughout town here, along with a handful of sell points. You do have the grape processing, the sawmill, and the spinnery that are kind of out of town a little bit. Not too shabby, though. This is the main farm that you do end up starting off with. There are some animals on there, and animal-wise, you start off with a cow pen, chicken coop, pigsty, and horse barn. So all in all, you do have a little bit right there. Now let's go and take a look at it from this point of view. this is all one plot of land. So you start off with your main farm and then one field to go along with it. Now, it does say in there that there are two places where you can go ahead and build items. This is one of those areas. When you start off a new farmer mode, everything's built for you. If you don't start off a new farmer mode or the other two modes, this is all blank. This is one of those areas where they say you can go ahead and start. This is the other one. And like this area over here, it is connected with a field. This one is 158,000. This one is 194,000. So kind of keep that in mind depending on what you want to go about doing. Now let's go ahead and take a look and see what fields are the cheapest and most expensive. Taking a look at field 50 down here at 41,000, almost 42, that comes in as our cheapest field on the map. Now that is just a grass field. Field 48 is the cheapest field that is already prepped and ready, and that comes in at $71,000. Now opposite end of the spectrum, field 27 is coming in at just a little under 800,000. So that one definitely takes the cake. Field 6 is right behind that at just a little over $730,000. All in all, though, not too shabby. As you come along and take a look at a lot of the other fields, those fields seem to be fairly reasonably priced out here. They're not too shabby at all. There are these areas here, the forestry areas that are on the map. So kind of keep that in mind as you're going about doing things. There are some kind of combination areas, like this one has a little island in the center, and these ones all up here kind of take a little bite out of the little forestry areas as well. So you do have options for going about playing the way you want to play. Now let's take a second here, jump back on out, and take a drive around the map. All right here, and let's go ahead and turn this map out in the corner so that you guys can kind of follow along with me as we go along on our tour of the map. Now, as you come over here, we'll go ahead and pop some of these doors open to see what's going on in here. You do have your repair station in over here and a nice big opening for storage, along with some nice open storage to go along with it here on the main farm. Not too shabby at all. You do end up starting off over here with a bunker silo. Not too shabby at all. Nice little manure heap. That's pretty cool. And up over here is where you have your pigsty. There's your pigsty right there. Not too shabby as well. Coming on over here, you do have your slurry tank over there, which is nice. Nice. Nicely placed in between everything. You got your cow barn right over here. Not too shabby with that. Here is your silo. Nice little setup in the center of the farm right here. And your other manure pit. Now, what'd be kind of neat if those two could be right next to each other and share, but that it just is not meant to be. Coming over here, you got your chicken coop. And over here, you got your next set of barn or shed doors here. Pop those open, and that's where your tractors are hiding right in there. Not too shabby. Right in here, you got your horse barn for all your horses. And, you know, actually kind of taking a walk around this farm, there's a decent amount of storage here. And there's also a decent amount of extra space. So if you do want to go ahead and place anything extra in here, there's more than enough room. There's definitely more than enough room to go ahead and add extra little bits and pieces. Now, let's go ahead, hop into the truck here, and we're going to go ahead on a little whirlwind tour of town. Let's bring that up for a second. I think we're going to kind of go on a little bit of a clockwise rotation here. We'll see if I can actually keep to that, but at least that's kind of my idea. So for starters here, we're going to go ahead and stay on the road for just a second here, maybe. And then we'll kind of head down the main... Watch out for the dog there. Watch out for the dog. Mind him. We'll come down this main little path right here. As you can see, this is a nice, big, long driveway sort of ordeal here. Not too shabby at all. Gosh, one tree. All right. So now what I'm going to end up doing here, and this may be something that bothers some people, it might be okay with it. I'm going to go ahead and drive on some of these fields here. I feel it really gives us a good opportunity to really see the lay of the land And as you can see, the land lays very, very hilly right here. So definitely if you're going to want to be looking at getting this field here or any of these fields that are kind of around, you can see way off in the distance over there, we have some hills here. Um, you're definitely going to want to up your horsepower just a bit. You're not going to be able to really handle all of this stuff with the smaller equipment, that's for sure, especially on these hills right here. Now, there are some lower land as we move on around on the map here. And that stuff there you can get away with going ahead and using the... Oh my gosh, that road is very, very bumpy, so you're going to have to watch your speed. It's actually safer for me to drive on the field. Once you get down here to these lower sections of land, it's going to be a lot easier to be able to go ahead and rock and roll with the equipment that you really need to. Like, if you have equipment that requires 100 horsepower down in this low area here, these low fields, you should be able to go ahead and make that happen with 100 horses. But as you go up the hill over there, maybe that implement that requires 100 horsepower, you may have to get at least 150 to, let's say, maybe even 200 horses to complete your task. The hills are that steep, so you're really going to kind of want to pay attention to that as you're going about. So let's come on over here because I wanted to show you this location right here. This is that other placeable area for starting up your farm, and kind of tell because it doesn't have anything popping up on there. If it were a grass field or a field of any sort, you'd have that little field info pop up down over there. So that's not the case here. So this is your other placeable location other than that main farm starting area that you got over there. So kind of keep that in mind. This one is located a little bit closer to the main roads for heading into town. Oh my gosh. Well, that was unplanned for. It is near your main road for heading into town, so kind of keep that in mind. I do want to come over here and take a look at this forestry area because I did take a look and do a little walk around at the forestry prior to getting on here, and they're all pretty much the same. This one area here actually has more of the smaller size trees that are spread out within there. The other areas don't necessarily have that, but this spacing wise is pretty close. This might actually be a little bit closer together than some of the areas, so kind of keep that in mind. If you're going to be doing forestry on here, you're going to be able to drive your equipment in no problem. Your tree harvesters, your trucks, your trailers, all that stuff is going to be able to navigate here pretty darn easy. It really isn't going to be too much of a concern. You could even say at some of the locations, like the bigger one down towards the town here a little bit, you really don't even need to do much of anything. There's a nice little spot for getting yourself a little prep area. What am I getting at by that? The area actually is relatively easy to navigate through. You're not going to run into really any issues or anything like that. It's this, I think it's this area right here. We'll come up here and take a look at it and kind of see what I'm getting at. Now, as you can see, this field here does have some obstacles in it, so when you are doing tasks, you are going to want to probably take a look at everything before you really jump on out there. Now, this is what I was talking about right here. You can drive through this with pretty good ease. It's got a lot of open spaces in it. You're probably going to be pretty darn fine doing any forestry in here. I would say even to a degree that this map probably isn't necessarily going to satisfy your forestry needs unless you are just wanting to give it a shot or just do something to earn a couple extra bucks. That'll pretty much be what is what. So I'm going to go ahead and take a second here and reset this vehicle so that you guys can see. And it does just reset right over here. This is the spawn point for the map. For buying anything, this also will be where your reset point is for whenever you want to go ahead and, well, call into a truck and have your vehicle towed and brought back because of misfortune and mishaps. Oh man, let's go ahead and I'm going to take a quick little jog into town here. We'll actually stay on the road here for just a second. Now driving around here, I think this map, just my own personal view on it. Okay, when you're going ahead and you're buying anything, you're gonna have to kind of be careful. This is a heavily trafficked area, heavily traveled area. That guy's going around way too fast. Yikes! Just ran me off the road. So traffic is obviously going to be a hassle, but we've kind of come to that conclusion here on 22 compared to 19. The traffic is just absolutely, well, horrendous compared to 19. It's just absolutely crazy how fast vehicles drive around on here. So keep that in mind when you're buying stuff. Maybe something a little bit bigger. Be prepared. You're either going to want to turn traffic off or just say a prayer and hope you don't get T-boned by somebody not paying attention. That being said, let's keep on going around here, just kind of looking around into town here. As you can see, this area off to the side here, this sell point, it's going to be kind of hard to get yourself in and out. And this also is the BGA on this side of it. There's a sell point over there, but the BGA is kind of over here on this side. Oh no, this is all BGA. I do apologize. So, if you are coming in here, be mindful. You may have to do a little bit of navigating to get yourself around here. A little bit narrower. You're not going to be able to bring a harvester through here with your header on. That's for sure. Unless it's one of those nice foldable ones. You do have the animal purchase point right there. And let's head back out here really quick. Didn't even look. It was awfully brave of me, I think. Oh man. Let's just drive along these fields. So these ones over here, field 49, 17. Missed that one back there. Those ones over here, if you're looking for a little bit more flatter area to kind of get yourself started off, this definitely is not that bad of a location to jump onto. We're gonna gun it. We're gonna gun it. All right. So these factory locations over here, I did specifically want to stop at because the area is a little bit tight. Especially if you're running semis through here, you're gonna have to be careful. There is not a lot of room. It still is all doable, but just kind of be mindful that you may end up having to get a telehandler, a forklift, something, a wheeled loader, bring your vehicle in, offload where you can, and then maybe, just maybe, you might be able to navigate around here if you have like rain or something like that dropping it off. But be mindful, it is tight in here. It could cause issues if you are so unfortunate. But at this point here, guys, let's go up over here just a little bit, park off into the field over here, and let's hop on out, because what I'd like to do is I'd like to get on my Mary Poppins hat and go ahead, fly up into the sky and take a look and see what this map looks like from above. All right, everyone, here we go. Let's hop up into the sky and take a look and see what this bad mamma jamma looks like from up above. And I tell you what, once you get up here, it really comes into focus on the elevation changes that you will be facing on this map. Especially when you kind of get yourself down a little bit. You can see around over there. Nice big hill right there. Really big hill right there. You got your starting farm right on the other side of those trees over there. All in all, guys, you have a nice variety of field sizes. A nice landscape undulations that you got going on here. Nothing too extreme where you feel like you're going to have your teeth rattled right out of your head. But you do have some nice stuff in here. You're definitely going to have to go ahead and upsize your horsepower, especially if you want to tackle some of these larger fields. Not only because of the size of the field, but just because of the elevation changes. If you're not going to go ahead and do that, and you're going to stick to your guns and stay small farming, you're probably going to have to really think about how you go about harvesting, plowing, all that stuff. You may end up having to plow from on top of the field onto the bottom, or same thing with harvesting, or maybe even go back and forth, never straight up the hill. whatever it takes to make it so it's a little bit safer on yourself, that's all you guys can go ahead and do. All in all, guys, I think this is an absolutely great map, done very well. Kind of touches on a lot of different avenues here, where you have your little bit larger fields, smaller fields, you got hills, you got trees, you got obstacles out in the middle of the field, like you do over there with the telephone wires or the power poles, whatever you would like to call them. Oh my gosh, this is a great map. Tell you what, guys, go ahead, comment down below. Let me know what you think of this map and what would you want to start off with on here. Would you want to tackle one of these big hills, or do you think it's probably better to stay on the flatlands? I don't know. Comment down below and let me know. And if you guys are liking what you're hearing, liking what you're seeing, go ahead and smash that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Help the channel out and hit that subscription. Go ahead, turn the notification bell on and have it set to all. That way you know when this and other great videos are coming out. Go ahead and share this one, if you will, with a deep friend of yours or maybe a complete enemy. The choice is all yours. I tell you what, guys, great map. I love it. I like it. I can't wait to get on it and do a little bit of farming. But until I get to that point, thanks for stopping by.